Dear students, today I am going to explain velocity and its type. Yesterday I have defined what do you mean by velocity. The displacement per unit time is called velocity. Today I am going to explain type of velocity. As I have written on the board, there are two types of velocity. First is here initial velocity. Second, final velocity. It is clear from the name initial velocity. The velocity with which an object starts to move. This means any object when it starts to move, it attains some velocity that is known as initial velocity. Simply we can say the starting velocity by an object is called initial velocity. Now here is a question, what is the symbolic representation of initial velocity? Initial velocity is denoted by a small u. Once again, here is another question, under which condition initial velocity will be 0? If an object starts from rest. If any numerical problem, if it is mentioned that the object starts from rest, in such condition initial velocity u equal to 0. Now I am going to explain final velocity. The velocity with which an object acquired. The velocity which is acquired by. Velocity which is acquired by an object. Which acquires by an object after some time, after certain time. Suppose that any object start to move and after 10 seconds its velocity increases. So after certain time interval, what is the velocity? That is known as final velocity. It is denoted by v. V for final velocity. Once again here is a question, under which condition final velocity will be 0. If an object stops, suppose that any object is going, the driver or vehicle's driver stops the object after some time. In such condition, v means final velocity will be 0. So here are two conditions, under which condition u equal to 0 and under which condition v equal to 0. If an object stops after certain time, in such condition v means final velocity will be 0, and if an object starts from rest, initial velocity becomes 0. Now third term I am going to explain, that is average velocity. Average velocity. The arithmetic mean of initial velocity and final velocity is called average velocity. Arithmetic means sum of u and v divided by 2. Because there are two velocity, initial velocity and final velocity, so average velocity equal to u plus v by 2. This is average velocity. If anyone asks you how will you calculate initial velocity, very simple answer. We will calculate initial velocity adding initial velocity and final velocity, then divided by 2. This means sum of initial velocity and final velocity divided by 2, we get average velocity. So these are the few terms explained by me in my today class. Okay, thanks.